Hello, friends from America. Hello, amigos from America. My name is Nicola Altieri, and I run Fontefico vineyards and cellars with my brother Emanuele. So we are two brothers, and we grow only organic indigenous grape varieties, such as Pecorino, Trebbiano, Montepulciano, and even Aglianico. The indigenous grape varieties are those can grow only in specific areas, and they are different from the international grape varieties, such as Cabernet or Merlot or Pinot, even Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay. These grapes are able to grow everywhere in the world. Instead, the indigenous grape varieties are historically typically from a specific place, a specific wine region. And so we choose to grow only the typical grape variety of Abruzzo, because our aim is to put into each bottle the taste of our territory. So we grow this grape, our vineyards that are 15 hectares, could be a little bit more than 30 acres, in an organic way. We also do the precise farming. That is something to reduce at the minimum the environment impact of the agriculture. We are in Abruzzo. We are in the southernmost part of Abruzzo, in Vasto. Vasto is our town, and we just are over on a cape, and we overlook the Gulf of Vasto. So where we are, where Fontefico is a special place, because we are 120 meters above sea level, and the wind from the Adriatic, the salt wind from Adriatic, goes through the vines, go through the vineyards. And first of all, this salt wind allowed us to produce organic grape, because it dries the bunches, avoiding fungus or other diseases. And also this wind from the Adriatic Sea gives much more minerality, acidity to our wines, more complexity at all. So for sure is a very nice place. Today we are going to taste 3 wines: Pecorino Superior 2019, that we call la canaglia; Montepulciano d'Abruzzo DOC 2017, la Cocca di casa; and at the end, Costetoste Aglianico 2012. So let's start now with Pecorino Superiore la canaglia. First of all, why this strange name, Pecorino? Just like the sheep milk cheese. You have to know that in the past there was a phenomena called la transumanza. That was when shepherds from the mountains used to come in summertime to the coast, to the Adriatic coast. And so it seems that sheep loved to eat only this grape. They were greedy of Pecorino grape. This is why in the past they began to call this grape Pecorino grape. The pecora means sheep, so Pecorino is the grape of the sheep. This grape variety also risks extinction, because it's very hard to grow yields are very low usually, and it's a delicate grape. So this is why many grape growers in the past decided to not plant it anymore. Still today is a rare grape, not common, let's say. It's a typical, of course, from Abruzzo, and where we are in Vasto is the part of the most southern part of Abruzzo where it does grow. Let's taste it. So the smell is a little bit balsamic, like herbs like sage or even mint, with floral like flowers, smell of white flowers like broom, for example, could be. Also some fruit like apricot. Into the mouth you can immediately feel the acidity and the minerality of this wine. It's a little bit salty also. Also the citrus notes, just like pink grapefruit. Also like cream, like custard. Because at the beginning it's very crispy, but the aftertaste is smoother, with flavor of almond, for example. It's a full body white wine. It is 14.5 degrees. You don't feel it at all, but actually is a with a very nice, very good texture, this white. This is why I would suggest to match it, for example, not only with fish or fresh cheeses, but even with white meat, for example with roast turkey. Nice, I hope you enjoy it. Let's taste now the Montepulciano Cocca di Casa 2017. You have to know that Italy is the biggest wine producer in the world, with 50 millions of hectoliters of wine, and Abruzzo produces 10% of this wine, so it's a very important wine region. But Montepulciano grape variety, so Montepulciano d'Abruzzo wine, is the most important in our region. In fact, we call it our wine, our Montepulciano, la Cocca di Casa, from the word coccolare, that means to cuddle. Cocca di Casa means the princess of the house. Coccolare, to cuddle, so the wine and the grape, mostly the grape that we cuddle more. It's, let's say, our favorite baby. Okay. The first smell is probably a smoky flavor, like a fireplace just gone out, and also there is a delicate balsamic note of eucalypto and pine resin, I would say. There is also elegant vegetal flavor, like unripe green tomato. This is typical, this green flavor to the nose is typical of the Montepulciano from this part of Abruzzo, that are grown with a pergola growing system. It's like keeping the bunches under a roof of leaves. A roof of leaves that is also a huge solar panel, taking the power from the sun and feeding the clusters, and feeding the bunches. So it gives the pergola growing system, and also the very dark soil that we have here, very rich, without any need to be fed. So it gives a lot of fruit flavor. It's like very ripe fruit and big red fruit, like strawberry, for example, but also cherries. The tannin is still sharpened. It's a very young wine, after all. It's 2017, and anyway, the smoothness comes out. My dog, wait a moment. It could be some white boars around here. So after a bit, the smoothness starts to fill all your mouth, so it becomes smoother and smoother. The typical aftertaste of Montepulciano is licorice, and you can feel here a very nice flavor of licorice and also chocolate, because the tannin maybe seems to be like chocolate. It's a very long-lasting taste. This wine is not so old, only 3 years old. Consider that you can keep this wine for years, 10 years, 15 years with no problem. I love to match it with pasta al pomodoro, spaghetti, fresh tomato, and little bit of basil. Or another good match could be lamb meat. You should try. We are ready now to taste our masterpiece of today, the Aglianico Costetoste 2012. It's a special Riserva from Fontefico, 2012. Do you know that is the old label of Costetoste Aglianico? Now we change it. Visit our website, discover the new label for this wine, Costetoste Aglianico. The color is different from the Montepulciano. It's more like a different red. It's not so purple, let's say. It's not so deep like Montepulciano. It's intense, but it's with an orange rim, let's say. Do you know that Aglianico is called the Barolo of the South? Aglianico grape is very common in Campania region, Basilicata, and also Molise. This is the only Aglianico grown in Abruzzo. Why? So you could ask me, you planted Aglianico? Because we are on the border with the other region, Molise, and where we have this vineyard is a perfect climate with a south exposure for this kind of grape variety. So this is why in the 2002 we planted Aglianico, even if still today we are the only ones producing Aglianico in Abruzzo. Okay, the nose starts with a balsamic shot of lavender and rosemary. There is also a hydrocarbons smell like tar. There is a lot of fruit in your nose and in your mouth. It's like prunes, sour cherries. I would also say crash berries, Fresh berries, yes. It's very fruity. It's a very fruity wine, but there is also a lot of spices. But probably fruit is stronger than spice. It has got a very big grip on the palate, even if it's not aggressive. I wouldn't say it's aggressive because it's a balanced wine. It is very complex wine with spicy and fruit fighting each other. The acidity is very high, and probably the final is something like cocoa beans, also something like carobs. It's incredible smell of small sweet fruits. And coffee, something like leather, little bit, hydrocarbons comes back again. It's a 2012. It's very concentrated. Very concentrated wine. The best match, the best food pairing for this wine will be game meat and long aging cheeses, very aged cheeses. This is something to drink and enjoy with best friends. Here we are at the end of this video tasting or virtual tasting. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you enjoy Fontefico wines. And the last but not least, I want to thank you on behalf of amigos Doug and Stacy Alexander for bidding on this auction item, which supports amigos and their amazing student volunteers. I hope that you enjoy it at all. Ciao ciao. Take some more. Pepe, vieni qua. Pepe, vieni qua, dai. Vieni qua, stai seduta.